How's it going, ladies and Bruce? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Route Double. We're currently in Jun Mordebe's memories, and Jun and Nagisa, Kazami's little sister, are in hospital after the apartment they were in exploded, and they were saved by Watase and his other savvy mans from Sirius. You know. Savvy mans. Anyway, let's continue with her memories, shall we? After being saved by those rescue workers, Jun was taken to the hospital, where she was treated for her burns. The burn on her back will likely leave a scar. It had been depressing to hear that from her doctor, but there were more important matters on Jun's mind. I hope Nagisa's okay. That rescue worker said she was okay, but the wounds on her head were apparently more serious than what had been thought. Nagisa had been in the ICU for an entire day after the accident, and she was still there. It appeared that Kazami, who had come over as fast as possible, was praying for Nagisa's safety in front of the ICU the whole time. Jun also prayed from her hospital bed. Oh god, please don't take Nagisa away. But that night, as Jun struggled to fall asleep, Kazami suddenly came in. Oh, hey Kazami. Jun... Kazami staggered into the sick room. Something was off about her. Hey, how's Nagisa? She's okay, right? Kazami's face warped with grief at that question. Jun, the truth is... Nagisa's... Huh? Kazami broke down sobbing. With a trembling voice, she then told Jun about her sister's death. April 7th, 2021. The world was informed that 4 lives had perished in the Rokume municipal apartment gas explosion accident on that day. Nagisa's death was one of those tragedies. The debris that hit her head caused her to lose so much blood that she passed away in her sleep. Perhaps it was only a minor tragedy compared to the Great Rokume City arson of 2014, but Jun had lost something irreplaceable on that day. Nagisa's funeral was held 2 days later. Though she was still recovering from her wounds, Jun forced herself to come. The sound of the sutras chanted by the Buddhist priest reverberated through the small funeral home. Not created, not annihilated, not impure, not pure, not increasing, not decreasing. Therefore in the void. There were no forms and no feelings, conceptions, impulses and no consciousness. There is no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body or mind. There is no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or idea. Jun just stood there in a daze as she listened to his voice. Nagisa's dead. The tears just won't come. She still couldn't believe that Nagisa had died. If I'd been stronger, then could I have prevented her from dying? Could I have saved her before the rescue workers got there? Feelings of powerlessness and resentment tormented Jun's heart. Kazami was staring at Nagisa's casket with empty eyes. An emotion had been drained from her face. Nagisa. Nagisa didn't reply to her faint call. Jun felt her heart wrench as she watched Kazami. It appeared Kazami had much more trouble than Jun, accepting that her beloved sister was now dead. For a little while after that, Kazami became mentally unstable. Jun first noticed something after she'd been discharged from the hospital. She'd encountered Kazami on her way home from school. Kazami was walking around with the same empty eyes as during the funeral. Where are you going, Kazami? Oh, Jun, have you seen Nagisa? Huh? She's really late. Geez, where could she have gone? Jun gasped as she saw Kazami talking as though Nagisa was still alive. Kazami, Nagisa's already... Call me if you see her, it's almost time for dinner, you see. Kazami walked off without hearing a word Jun had said. The same thing happened over and over again each time Jun saw Kazami. Kazami would always wander around the park Nagisa used to play in. It was like she hadn't accepted Nagisa's death at all. What do I do? Kazami will never recover if this keeps up. But day after cruel day passed by as Jun remained at a loss for how she could help Kazami. Then 2 weeks later or so, Jun kept the pain in her heart at bay as she headed to the park. Nagisa, tell me, what should I do? Jun looked to the heavens and asked, hoping her voice would reach Nagisa. It was at that moment she spotted Kazami standing at the edge of the park. When she spotted Jun, she walked over on her unstable feet. Oh, Jun, have you seen Nagisa? She's really late. Geez, where could she have gone? Kazami was saying the exact same thing she had the other day. Kazami... Jun knew Kazami's heart was in pieces. Her time had stopped the moment her sister had died. We've seen that before. I have to hurry and find her. Kazami tried to walk off somewhere again with those words, but Jun called out to her. That's enough. That's enough, Kazami. Huh? You'll never find her no matter how much you look, because no matter where you look, Nagisa's already gone. Kazami's face froze over at that moment. What are you talking about? Nagisa's dead. She got hit in the head in that explosion back then. You're lying. She must be somewhere. I'm telling the truth. You were at her funeral too, weren't you? We said goodbye to Nagisa together, remember? Tears poured out of Jun's eyes in droves when she shouted that. You have to understand that, Kazami. If you don't, then Nagisa can't go to heaven in peace. It was with those words that Jun was finally able to accept it. Nagisa was dead. She'll never see that tender-hearted girl ever again. She and Kazami were left behind in the world Nagisa was no longer a part of. Jun couldn't stop her tears from pouring out now that she realized that. And when she saw Jun's tears, I see. So she's dead, huh? Kazami also finally accepted reality. Now I'm all alone. No, you're not. I know Nagisa's watching over you from heaven. No, I'm alone. She was my only sister. The two of us had lived together just by ourselves for ages. Without Nagisa, Jun's words weren't reaching her. Jun desperately thought about how to move Kazami's heart, about how she could support her. She soon reached an answer, and when she did, she finally stopped crying. Kazami? Jun told Kazami her decision. I won't leave you alone, because I'll be your little sister, since Nagisa no longer can. Huh? I know I'm nothing like her, and I'm not cute at all, but I'll be your little sis. So that's why Jun knew she could never in a million years replace Nagisa, but when Kazami heard her declaration, she gently embraced Jun and spoke, "Thank you." Jun became Kazami's new sister from that day on. She would stop by Kazami's house frequently after Nagisa's death. Occasionally she'd stay over and they'd spend whole nights talking to each other. In the end, it looked like her actions were worth it. Kazami slowly began returning to the calm person she'd been before the incident. She soon quit her job at the flower shop and entered firefighting school. Nagisa's death had most likely driven her desire to a job that involved saving lives. Jun was against it, but Kazami just wouldn't change her mind. Jun soon caved in and went from opposing her to supporting her. Kazami then became a firefighter, and after putting in even more work, she became a rescue worker. All their sad and painful memories slowly faded with time. Jun deeply respected Kazami for completely getting back on her feet and becoming the first female rescue worker in Rokume City Fire Department history. Sis sure is strong. I have to get strong too. With Jun supporting Kazami and Kazami serving as a role model to Jun, the two of them grew to have a mutual effect on each other. Then one day, several years later, Kazami asked Jun a question as they went out to the city on one of their days off. Jun, what do you plan to do once you've graduated high school? Huh, funny you should ask that. See, I was thinking I'd also enroll in firefighting school and work to become a member of Sirius, just like you, sis. What? Just as Jun had feared, a grim look adorned Kazami's face after she'd heard Jun's nervous answer. No, it's too dangerous for you. You could die out there. The pay is low, the job is hard, and it feels like you're diving straight into hell every time you go to work. I know all that. But you enrolled in firefighter school even after I kept telling you not to, remember? That was years ago. These are completely different issues. No, they're not. They're the same. Jun, why? If I ever lost you too, I'd be... Jun knew Kazami was truly worried about her. There was no chance she could yield to her. Jun always felt like her heart was being crushed every time she heard a siren go off in the city or saw Kazami come home from work hurt. Sis, I feel the same way as you. I don't want you to leave me all by myself either. Jun... And besides, I've admired rescue workers for ages now, because it was a rescue worker who saved me. I see. If that's how you really feel, then I have nothing else to say. Though she said that, Kazami was clearly a little angry. Jun then tried buttering her up. Hey sis, what? If I do this, then can I save you whenever you're in a tight spot? Thank you. Then I'll be sure to save you whenever you're in danger. Yeah. As long as she held on to those words, Jun felt like she could do anything. Then about a year later, Jun followed through with her plans, first by enrolling in firefighter school. She graduated at the top of her class, above all the boys who were there. She probably had the talent for it to begin with, but becoming a member of Sirius was far more difficult than becoming a firefighter. As a result, Kazami, who had overcome many obstacles to become a rescue worker, was like an idol for female firefighters of the Rokume City Fire Department. I have to do my best so I can be just like sis. So what if I'm a shrimp? What matters is effort, guts, and spirit. She kept training every day to compensate for her small body. Her peers were astounded by how she worked herself to the bone. By the time she could bench press 90 kilograms, do 250 push-ups, and run 1500 meters in 5 minutes, no more obstacles remained in her path. and thus the second female rescue worker in Rokume City Fire Department's history was born. Jun enlisted in Sirius on August 5th, 2030, where she was incorporated into the Tachibana party of Team A, commanded by Watase Kasasagi. She then easily completed several dispatches, waiting for the opportunity to truly shine. It was long before the opportunity came knocking. September 16th, early morning, just when Jun's night shift was nearing its end. The ear-splitting scream of a dispatch siren screeched through the station. Explosions of unknown origin have occurred in the 6th Laboratory of Atomic and Biological Organization. And with that ominous report, the curtain rose on the longest day of Jun's life. Jun and the others hurried on over to the dispatch site via helicopter after receiving the report. They received their orders from the commander, and Labo's staff provided them with AD and Procyon. The group was split into two teams before they entered the facility, Team A and Team B. Team A lined up in Labo's entrance hall before Watase, who proceeded to give them instructions. Countless people are trapped in this lab as we speak, and due to the nature of this facility, this will be no ordinary dispatch. We don't know what will happen in there, nor what unforeseen circumstances await us. Unforeseen circumstances? Radiation exposure, radiation damage, and death. Those phrases all clouded ahead. This is the first end disaster that the whole Rokume City Fire Department had encountered. There was a possibility that a meltdown actually would happen, but I can't wuss out. I have to protect Sis. Come on, put some spirit into it, Jun. New orders from the commander and a map of floors 1 and 2 were sent to Jun, just as she finished stealing her resolve. According to what the commander has been able to learn so far, all the researchers in the basement have already been evacuated. The only ones still trapped on the surface floors. That's where we will conduct rescue efforts. Yes, sir. Form 2-man cells. Tachibana, you're with Moribei. Dojima, you're with Hiyama. Make sure to keep in constant contact with Team B. Don't forget this. Alright, get to work, people. Sir, yes, sir. Jun ran off with Kazami. They were equipped with the minimum gear necessary. Air tanks, a rope, and engine cutter. The search of the surface floors went smoothly. There were no signs of fire on floor 1 and 2, so the evacuation of the survivors was smoothly completed. Floor 2, Area 2, clear. That means we're all done with our search territory, right? Yeah, let's head back to the command post. Roger. They lost contact with Watase, Dojima, and Hiyama a little while back, so they planned to go back to the command post to check if they were alright, but then Kazami suddenly came to a halt. What's wrong, Lieutenant? I thought I just heard someone's voice. Kazami looked down the stairs. They went down to the basement floors, but didn't they say they'd already finished evacuating the basement? Just as she thought that, Kazami gasped. Jun then heard a voice coming up from the basement. Hey you, over here, over here. For a moment, Jun couldn't help but feel that she'd heard that voice somewhere before. They then heard footsteps running off somewhere. But what was that? I don't know, it appears to have come from the basement. Huh? That was odd, there wasn't supposed to be anyone down there according to the commander. Did some people go down to the basement after the fire broke out? Why? Why would they do that? To get some top secret data or something? She didn't know why they would go down after the fire or why they'd run away from them. One thing was absolutely clear. Moribei, there are still people in the basement. Let's go, Lieutenant. Though neither of them had a clue of what was going on, they both headed down to the basement. But there was no one to be found anymore in B2. No one's here? Why? Let's look for them. They couldn't have gotten far. Jun and Kazami ran through Area 2 looking for survivors. But they were nowhere to be seen. They tried looking in Area 1 too, but no one was there. They reluctantly decided to head back to the surface. But Area 1's staircase was destroyed in a series of explosions. They tried looking for another way, but their path was blocked with flames. Lieutenant, there's another fire here. Wait, Moribei, it's too much for you to handle by yourself. But we've got to put out this fire first or we're in trouble. Jun took a fire hose and stood before the hallway. When their vision was filled with a jet of flames spurting from the fire. Jun, look out! Kazami saved Jun in the nick of time, but their protection suits were damaged in the process, rendering them unusable. Despite that setback, they just removed the suits and continued the search as they fought fires, all while fearing the meltdown that could happen any moment. Let's go back, Lieutenant. There's a big chance the survivors ran towards Area 3. Yeah. Jun and Kazami then returned to Area 2, just as an ominous siren suddenly bellowed. Huh? What's happening? The loud alarm was accompanied by an automatic PA announcement. A KSN has just been detected. In accordance with this emergency, security has shifted to blockade mode, locking down all gates and bulkheads. All facility personnel, please administer AD, take shelter in the nearest room and stay in place. Jun looked at the connecting passageway in shock. The security gate in their way closed with a loud boom. It can't be. Kazami ran up to the gate and tried opening it. But no matter how much she tried to use the opening mechanism or how much strength she used, the gate wouldn't budge. This is horrible. What's going on? I don't know why, but it appears evacuation mode has ended. All of the gates that were open up until this point are now locked. Then that means... Yes, it seems we've been trapped inside this block. Jin started shuddering at Kazami's statement. Trap? What are we going to do? What, you ask? We only have one choice. We continue with the search. There's a high probability that the survivors have also been trapped. Once we've concluded the search, we shall secure an escape route. Actually, wait. We have to find a security card before we can do that. There is much we have to do. We do not have the time to be standing around. I know, but how can you be so calm? Don't you realize we're stuck in the basement of a nuclear research facility without protection suits? I am calm precisely because panicking will not change our situation for the better. You must keep a cool head in any situation to accomplish all necessary tasks at hand. Also, you get scared if I panic, right? Jin gasped at how simply Kazami had seen through her. The lieutenant then continued in a teasing voice. It's because you're still a greenhorn. The team would fall apart if I was unable to uphold my dignity as a veteran. Hey, don't treat me like a kid, I'm not scared at all. Are you sure about that? Hell yes I am. I'm a member of Sirius too, you know. Kazami smiled at Jin's words. Good. Keep up that attitude and you'll be fine. Well, if anything were to happen, I protect you, so don't worry. That's my line. So let's work together. Rescue the survivors and find a way out for sure, okay? Jin and Kazami exchanged a firm handshake. They then walked off with a strength in their step. Jin and Kazami found 2 level 2 security cards after that. They used those to search for an escape route and survivors as they put out the fires in the facility. But they weren't able to find either. And just as they were about to finish searching areas 2 and 1... Is that the captain? They found Watase lying in a hallway in area 1. The 3 rescue workers then began their long and arduous battle through the facility. At that moment, a floral scent suddenly wafted in from somewhere. Here we go. The floral scent. The memories after this point were tampered with. Miss Jin should get back to normal if you repair those memories. Yeah. Natsuko agreed, resuming memory access. His search criterion was floral-scented memories. And here we go. The Dark Side of the Moon. After they reunited with Watase in Area 1, the group rescued Yuri, a civilian who'd been caught up in the accident. But Watase had lost his memories. Jin hadn't especially liked him, since he was always blunt and cold, but she was worried about him this one time. But, be that as it were, they reformed the team and continued the search. I mean, he's the one who saved her though. They then saved a woman stuck in the connecting passageway between areas 2 and 3. But she grew very angry after she was told about the situation and started harping on the ground. No way, what do you mean the bulkheads are shut? We can't figure out why it happened either. Then why don't you just destroy the damn thing with a sort of special equipment or something? We've tried everything we can, but not even our engine cutter could make a dent in that thing. We can't destroy the bulkhead with any of the equipment we have on hand. Never thought a rescue squad could be this useless. Harsh. Inamax Jin 4. It's true that we can't destroy it with our equipment, but the workers on the surface should have explosives with them. So it's only a matter of time before that bulkhead is destroyed and reinforcements come, so please try to understand for now. I see, then I guess there's nothing you can do about it. The woman let out an exasperated sigh. Hey, cut the crap, lady. Huh? How about being a little more thankful we saved you? Oh my, whatever do you mean? Isn't saving lives what we pay you people for? It's only given that you're supposed to save people on the job. Natsuko repaired that false memory. Now wait just a minute, lady. Unable to sit back and let her continue berating them, Jin planned to give the woman a warning, but Kazami held her back. More importantly, we need to give her some AD. Oh, you're right. She'll be in big trouble without it. AD? What's that? Well, you see, it's... Kazami explained AD to the woman. She also told her about the radiation filling the facility, the danger standards, and the Procyon. The woman's attitude took a complete 180 after she heard all that. But she should actually already know all that. It's an act. Radiation? That's correct. Furthermore, subjective symptoms of radiation damage easily appear in the internal organs, skin, and eyes. Are you experiencing any nausea, skin pain, or blurry vision? No, I think I'm feeling okay. Good, then you'll be fine as long as I give you some AD now. But you better do it quick, you hear? And if you don't, then you won't be around to keep telling us off like that. Okay. Then all I have to do is inject myself with this? Righto. Now that's better. She wasn't thrilled by the woman's attitude, but Jin decided to let it go for now. She felt that it was her natural duty as a rescue worker. Next one. Dark Side of the Moon B. Okay. Complaints aside, once Jun and the others rescued Ina, the Rokume City Academy teacher, they headed to the surveillance room in Area 3 where they encountered Ukita, a researcher. They then learned that Natsuhiko, Mashido, and Louise, the three high schoolers Jun had become acquainted with over the past week, were trapped in the facility. As a result, they focused their efforts on rescuing them. With limited AD, rising radiation levels, and no escape route in sight, the situation was extremely harsh. Teamwork was more essential than anything else at this point. Ina 4, Jun Max. Yet someone disrupted that teamwork. Oh, come on, it's just smoke. I didn't take rescue workers for cowards. And that someone was none other than Ina. Jun called the search to a halt when she'd spotted smoke filling the outer ring. I need to get another earful from Ina. You know, you've been really getting on my nerves for a while now. You're a civilian, what right do you have to get so high and mighty? I may be a civilian, but you're just a rookie, right? That's not much better. Natsuhiko repaired that false memory. Jun could tell she was trying to rush the search along because she was really worried about his students. But as a rescue worker, I just can't accept that. Watase, Kazami, and Yuri came running over, just as Jun thought that. What happened? Watabe, what's all this commotion about? Lieutenant. There's smoke in the outer ring up ahead. Looks like there are traces of fire there. But we don't know where the fire's coming from, since there's a ton of rooms, so I was telling Mr. Tsubakiyama and Mr. Ukita to wait somewhere safe, but don't be an idiot. If there are traces of fire, then that's all the more reason why we should all be searching. Ina started yelling again. Do you want to die? Huh? If you don't want to die, then please stop complaining and listen to us. And she was rendered silent by Kazami's blunt words. I just wanted to help. And I truly am grateful for that. I apologize for being harsh on you. But you can't take even the smallest of fires lightly. Please trust our judgment when it comes to disaster sites. Our mission is to ensure that everyone gets out of here in one piece, so please. Not even Ina could resist caving into Kazami's kind yet firm appeal. Alright, then I'll leave it up to the professionals. Jun was impressed. That's this for you. She managed to persuade Miss Tsubakiyama so calmly in less than a minute. I should follow her example. She resolved to deal with these situations more like Kazami in the future. See? The facility was full of countless dangers such as radiation, fire, and explosions. I hope we can regroup with Dojima and Hiyama as soon as possible. She would feel much more at ease if they were able to rendezvous with Dojima and Hiyama, her two co-workers. But when they found Dojima, he was almost beyond recognition. The tragic sight of that room had done a serious blow to Jun, Watase, and Kazami's willpower. But they were still short on AD and time was wasting away by the second, so they overcame their comrade's death and continued the search. They managed to make their way through the gas-filled zone and turned on the sprinkler system. Jun and the others decided to take a short break, and the little time that they had from then until the system finished its job and the gas had ventilated. Watabe, Teach, you guys holding up okay? My fingertips are a bit numb, but I'm fine. I think I'll be alright after a little rest myself. There are no issues with me either. All that numbness in my skin went away after I took that AD. Everybody max. Everybody max. But we can't relax. Watase glanced at his Procyon and said that, look, it's 3090 microsieverts right now. Seems like it won't be long until it passes the first danger standard of 4000. I hope Mr. Tenkawa and the others have some AD, but that's true, I'm more worried about those kids than myself right now. Oh yeah, that's right. You said you were acquainted with those high schoolers, right? Yeah, though we only talked like twice or so. So they're basically strangers then. But that doesn't mean I'm not worried about them. I see, that's probably because you're not that much older than they are. You're nice, Mortabe. Natsuhiko repaired that false memory. Jun's eyes widened at those words. She's worrying about her students first, even though she's also in danger. She may be harsh and too critical, but she really is a teacher, huh? Jun felt like she could understand Ina's heartfelt concern for Natsuhiko and her other students. But we've been fighting with each other so much, it's kinda awkward to admit that. Jun struggled with her conflicting emotions, but Watase spoke up first. Teach, don't panic. The fact that we've seen empty medical boxes in AD means that there's a high chance that they found some too. Oh, nice support, Captain. Jun decided to quickly follow suit. He's right, Miss Tsubakiyama. Rushing things will only lead to more danger. Let's just rest now while we can. Good point. Miss Tsubakiyama, this has really been harsh on you, has it not? To be honest, yeah, in its own way I've gotten tired from running around from place to place. Oh geez, why the hell did all this happen? Everything was totally normal until yesterday, but I guess it's true when they say, no one knows what the future holds. Ina said that in a choked voice. Jun felt sympathy welling inside her. Alright, this is where I gotta play it cool and act like a rescue worker. Come on, Mr. Bakiyama. Let's stop being all gloom and doom here. We'll get you and your students out of here safely. Just you wait. Ah, I'm sorry. It looks like I let everything get to me for a second there. I guess when I started thinking about the possibility that we could die in a place like this. Stop, don't jinx us all like that. You mustn't say that. Showing weakness will only double the danger. Got that right. I'll be damned if I let a single person die here. You three sure are strong. Lots of people have died here already. I'm sorry for having been so rude to you up until now. You guys really are a fine rescue squad. Compared to you, all I'm good at is being all talk and no action with nothing to back it up. Huh? Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But I'll try to make sure I do as you say from now on. Ina smiled apologetically. That smile alone made Jun want to forgive her for everything she'd said up until now. Yeah, Miss Bakiyama may be a bit full of herself, but when you get down to it, she's just a civilian. I can let a little selfishness slide. Jun decided to switch to that way of thinking. She had a creed about letting the minor details go and treating those who were cooperative with kindness. And D. And then we got the new one. After finishing their break in the engine room, Jun and the others hid their exhaustion and pressed on. They continued to search the facility for the survivors that were almost certainly there. But then, as if to crush those hopes, they discovered yet another victim. It was the final member of Team A, Hiyama. It was too late. He's already dead. No. Hiyama, not you too. Kazami spoke bitterly to the utter speechless Watase. Dying in the line of duty is an unavoidable risk in this line of work. But Tachibana... Please don't say anything, Captain. We can save our grief for after we rescued the survivors and gotten outside. Kazami's noble words just served to pierce through Jun's heart. You have to do the same, Mortabe. But today was the first time I've ever lost a co-worker on the job. And now it's happened again. Everybody max? No? Hang on, I need to save. I need to save. So I don't know what we're doing. I know, you have to keep your head held high. You discarded your womanhood when you joined Sirius, remember that. We're just gonna go everybody max. I don't know if that's right, because my thing doesn't say, for some reason. Fingers crossed. But sis, Jun said that in a frail voice like that of a normal girl. Why is everyone around me dying? Hang in there, Jun. Huh? Captain, what are you doing? Don't worry about that, just listen to me. I know it must be hard for you to have lost 2 squad mates. I don't even have memories, and it's hard for me too. I know you're scared. No matter what, you're still a girl. I'd see you could repair that false memory. Could it be that both Sis and Captain are also... The radiation levels through the whole facility were already past 3,000. If it kept on rising, then no amount of AD they took could guarantee their lives anymore. In the first place, they didn't even have enough AD at the moment. Everyone here could die. I'm going to be broken down to my genes too, all battered and dead in this dark basement. Just as Jun thought that. Tachibana, Mortabe, can I have a minute? Watase suddenly spoke up. Huh? We're changing leaders. I'll lead the group from this point onwards. Captain? I'll be the leader from now until we both calm down. Let me shoulder all the weight that you've been carrying so far. Can you hear me? Then let me make it an order, as Sirius Captain. As of this point onwards, Lieutenant Kazami Tachibana and Ensign Jun Mortabe will hereby defer to Captain Watase Kasasagi's command. Jun and Kazami's body shook at those words. It was like Watase was back to being the man he was before he lost his memories. Now let me hear you say it. Jun and Kazami instinctively clicked their heels and replied in response to that command. Sir, Lieutenant Kazami Tachibana deferring to Captain Watase Kasasagi's command, sir. Ensign Jun Mortabe deferring to Captain's command, sir. Good. Watase gave a broad grin, then continued. And there you have it. Well, that was mainly for formality's sake. I'm still counting on you both to basically keep things running the way they've been so far. Yes, please. Good. Then now that we've finally got our hands on a level 6 card, let's use it to press onwards. Yama left that card for us. We can't let it go to waste. Yama left that card for us. Those words reignited Jun's spirit. She managed to recover just as she was about to fall off on the brink of despair. You're right. We can't keep staying down in the dumps forever. The fires are out and we've got a card. So now we can go all the way to Area 6. We have nothing to fear. Yeah, that's the spirit. Watase grinned and pat Jun on the shoulder. She could feel his strength and warmth of his hand through that gesture. That's right. We're still alive. Which means we've got to do everything in our power to survive. Jun looked at Hiyama's body. His legs had been broken, he'd caught on fire, and he'd most likely spent his last moments in utter despair, but despite all that, he still tried to survive. He would never come back. but he had left their group with the key they needed to keep moving forward. In that key lay what was most certainly the will of someone who had lived to their fullest. Those who had been entrusted with that will would accept it and carry it with them for the rest of their lives, much like how it was Nagisa's existence that had brought Kazami and Jun to where they were now. Thanks, Captain. And thank you too, Hiyama. I'm still alive and I'll do everything I can to survive until the bitter end. Thus, she would use her life to accomplish what had to be done. Saving human lives. That's right, that's the whole reason I came here after all. Jun clenched her hands into tight fists when she thought that. And that was the state of Jun's altered memories. Would this be enough to bring Jun back to normal? But there was still one other thing he had to do first. Fight the lady. Erase phantom subject N that was nesting in Jun's brain. She's probably just up ahead, around that memory of finding subject N's body by the cargo lift. Malice corrupted memories have been purified. New memory has appeared September 16th, 2030, 12:15. Scene title, Sympathy for the Devil. Okay. Natsuki continued reading Jun's memories. Everything from when she entered the contaminated zone, found AD, helped the rest of the group save Yuri when she was almost crushed by falling debris in the factory, and finally, when she watched them force open the gate to the cargo lift with a crane. Yes, this is it. This is where the memory is. What the... yeah. Alright, then I'll go first to make sure it's safe. Yeah, we're counting on you. Yep, just leave it to me. Jun went through the opening in high spirits, but on the other side of the gate... all they found there was the unidentified body of a girl. Natsuko witnessed that sight through Jun's eyes. This is when Jun was infected with malice. Then shouldn't that girl be showing up any second now? A remnant of Subject N's spirit must be here. Isn't that right, Subject N? Natsuko spoke to the corpse. Now come on out. I'll erase your malice from Jun. When Natsuko shouted that, "You come to kill me?" Subject N answered. She slowly stood up and glared at Natsuhiko. Natsuko looked back at her and then replied, "No, not to kill. I'm just repairing these memories back to their original state." Wrong, what you're doing sure as hell ain't repairing, bro. And what the hell do you mean by original state anyway? Aren't you just deluding yourself to believe that? You're just distorting these memories and rebuilding them as you see fit. If that's your idea of repairing, then that's hilarious. Or maybe it's exactly as you say. But if I leave you alone, people will really die. I'm not talking about this mental world here. I mean the real world. I can't just let that slide, not a chance. So you're killing in the name of justice, huh? Wow, looks like we've got a bona fide hero here. My body is long dead, and yet you erase the trace of myself that I left in Jun's memories. You're annihilating me. No matter how you try to sugarcoat it, in the end, it's still murder. You even do it without a moment's hesitation. You got the makings of a killer, bro. Just like Jun. Those words sent a shock through Natsuhiko's mind. Just like Jun? You're telling me that Jun has the makings of a killer too, and not just me? Well, duh. You just now picking up on that? Subject N snorted. Hey, you ever heard the phrase kill one to save 1,000? Jun hates that phrase. Where's this coming from? The full way of thinking is, if killing one will end up saving many in exchange, you should do it. Though she hates it, that's exactly the path Jun chose. You heard her earlier, didn't you, bro? At that moment, Subject N's voice turned to Jun's. How the hell can you say that? How the hell do you suggest that an attempted murderer could ever reform? Listen, it's too late to act on once someone's been killed. The dead are never coming back. It's not like I want to do this either, damn it. But if the alternative is to regret the loss of another victim, I'd rather take this guy down myself. Even if his blood on my hands means I'll never work with Sirius again. The only thing this girl has is saving people. She believes it's fine to hurt others if it means getting that done. It looks like a paradox, but it all checks out. You've seen enough of her mind so far that you can catch what I'm saying, right, bro? Jun's a weak girl. She's a bundle of complexes which makes her push herself to the point of recklessness. She's also real dependent on others. She's always chasing after someone, whether it's Nagisa, Sis, or the captain. Relying on others and being relied on is the only way she can find any sense of value in herself. And she hates just how damn weak she is. That self-loathing turns into aggression towards others. She jumps way too easily at the idea of protecting lives, just because it's a just cause. You know what happened to Jun after I altered her memories? She got so damn obsessed with saving everyone's life, she grew willing to slaughter anyone suspicious. The scene in front of them changed to the moment Subject N said that. It was a memory of Jun from just a few hours ago. Jun was walking through a connecting passageway while cursing under her breath. Where the hell is that bastard? That bastard hit me on the head from behind. I see, so that really was it all along. It wasn't the captain. Mr. Akita was the culprit. Then I have no choice. If he stole the AD, then I gotta do something. I gotta do it or I can't protect anyone. I gotta kill that son of a bitch. I gotta do it if I want to save everyone. I gotta bite the bullet and go through with it. I gotta bite the bullet. Get a load of that. Get it now, bro? Jun wanted to kill Mr. Akita after he attacked him. Shut up. I didn't alter that memory. Jun said those things for a fact. She knew the AD had vanished and thought everyone's lives were at stake, but snapping like that? A little over the top, don't you think? She doubted the captain too, remember? Then she even doubted you guys after all her efforts to keep you safe. Man, talk about putting the cart before the horse. She called Mr. Akita a weak person, but the real weakling was obviously Jun. I told you to shut up. Natsuhiko interrupted Subject N. You know nothing about Jun. She wanted to be a hero. Not a hero that beat up bad guys, but one that saved people. Do you even know how much blame she put on herself? Do you realize just how much it mentally traumatized her to be unable to save her friend? But she endured that trauma, faced her weakness, and overcame them. And that made her strong. Subject N's face warped slightly at those words. Of course I knew that much. Because I'm Jun, and Jun is me. Then why are you pouring salt into her wounds? Shouldn't you at least understand that Jun's mind isn't in the right place anymore? And also that you're the one who made her this way? So you're saying that I'm possessing Jun? That it's not just the memory alteration causing this? It's not exactly what you call possession. They used BC on Jun. BC isn't just the power to convey words and memories to others, but feelings too. Things that can't be expressed in words, memories that can't be imagined, and your vast malice. All of those feelings are now in Jun's brain as information energy. And once she took them in, Jun ceased to be her normal self. Now ain't that sentimental? The life of the dead is retained in the memory of the living and all that jazz. And the fact that you're talking with me is proof that you actually exist here. Much like how Nagisa Girl still lives on in Jun's memory. Don't you dare say that name. Subject N glared at Natsuhiko. That girl pisses me off. That bitch died 9 years ago, yet she still remains in Jun's mind. Do you want to live on in Jun's mind too? No shit, Sherlock. We want to connect with others' hearts and minds, leaving our thoughts and feelings behind within them. That's what we communicate as desire above all else. I see. Maybe you're right, but Jun just can't be yourself as long as you're still here in her mind. I have to erase you. Subject N gave a resigned laugh when she heard that. Ha! So in the end you're still erasing me. You have to kill one to save 1,000 mentality too. It's nothing as impressive as that. It's for my own selfish reasons. Well, that's just nasty. That makes you no better than someone who kills for fun. No, it's kind of odd in hindsight, but maybe that's just what it is to be a hero. It's getting too painful for Natsuhiko to keep listening to her. He heard Yudi's voice echo in the corners of his mind. Hikarin, it's time. You have to erase her. If she's an incarnation of Miss Jun, then she isn't saying those words because she wants to. Yeah, I know. Subject N probably regretted her own actions and longed to be erased. She's been egging Natsuhiko on the whole time to goad him into finishing the job. Natsuhiko had to justify his actions that way, or else he couldn't bring himself to carry out his duty. I'm gonna kill you, Subject N. She smiled at those words. Just hurry up and get it over with already, hero. Then live a long life suffering from the guilt. Yeah, I'll live with it until the day I die. And so as he listened to Subject N's taunting him, even at the very end, Natsuhiko erased Subject N from Jun's mind. And with that, we're going to wrap this episode up here. Because we've saved Jun now, hopefully. I mean, fingers crossed. She should be fine now. That's another one down. And Ina doesn't seem to have a problem, so... the only one we've got left is Kazami, I think. Oh, and Sully, maybe. Guess we'll see what happens next. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting out to me, and I'll see you in the next one.